Staff Room Monologues. Brought to you in association with the National Union of Teachers. The voice of the profession.
Always the Teacher, Never the Bride is written by Sarah Butler, a reception class teacher from Southend-on-Sea. A really lovely piece of writing this, funny and touching and clever, and hope you enjoy it.
I know it's the bride's prerogative to be late, but I'm starting to panic a bit. My head's really itching as well. That's a wedding present I could do without. I bet I caught them off Chelsea. She was really scratching her head yesterday. Oh, is everybody going to know when I walk up the aisle? I mean, nip treatment is pretty whiffy. Oh, God. I wonder how many of the other children have caught them. That's going to look great on the wedding video. All my bridesmaids and page boys scratching at their heads all the way through the ceremony. You see, I decided to have all my reception class as bridesmaids and page boys, as there are only 20 of them. And the head has even let me hire the school hall for the wedding reception at a slightly discounted rate. I've themed my whole wedding to match our topic this term, which is nursery rhymes. So we raided the dressing up costumes at school, and I've got some Little Bo Peeps, Little Miss Muffet, and the Grand Old Duke of York, and all his men. I did draw the line at Humpty Dumpty, even when Jake had a massive strop. I must say, Neil hasn't been too keen on the whole nursery rhyme theme. Can't we just do something that's about us and not about school? I think it's nice to have something a bit different from everyone else. It was the head who gave me the idea, really. I asked if she could extend my report writing deadline, what with being a bit busy during the holidays, you know, getting married, going on honeymoon. It's work-life balance, Samantha, she said, with the emphasis on work. If I extend deadlines for you, I'll have to do it for everyone. You really should have waited until the summer holidays to get married. And then she said, you are videoing the wedding, aren't you? We can use it to teach the children about developing a respect for our own culture and beliefs. You know, that's a really hard one to tick off with our cohort. So it was then that I got the idea to tie in the wedding with our class topic. So the children have been busy helping me design the wedding invitations. Although we had to discount the one from Holly with the Big Willy design. They've been constructing with a purpose by making some beautiful table decorations, although we haven't made a very good choice of fixatives. Still, it's a chance to get something ticked off on the foundation stage profile. I'm going to include little question cards on the tables asking the guests how they think they're made and what materials were used. Interactive displays was one of my professional development targets. I hope the head notices. All the staff will be there. They decided at the last staff meeting that there wouldn't be the usual end of term do. They'd all come to the wedding instead. Sheila's really pleased. She usually gets volunteered to host the parties, and she still hasn't got Janet's red wine stain out of the carpet from the Christmas bash. Our site manager is usually the last to leave a party, so he offered to lock up the hall on his way home. The Vic has been smashing, really got on board with it all. He's agreed to let us project the aims of the day on a screen behind him. I mean, I know the children can't read, well, except for Joel, my gifted and talented, but as the head says, it's important for them to see the text, even if they can't read it. The vicars agreed to change a few words in the ceremony as well. I feel it lacks any higher order questioning. So the vicar will change, does anyone know of any just impediment? And instead, he's going to ask, why is it important that there is no just impediment? Neil said he might say something there himself. Actually, I'm hoping none of the children say anything, especially Connor. He's been a bit clingy with me the last couple of weeks, muttering on about how I'm his Miss Brooks. Every time I mention the wedding, he's taken to hiding under a table. We've been practicing lots of good listening with the children over the last few weeks, not calling out, not fidgeting and staying in their seats. I've prepared a special tick list for Denise, my learning support assistant. She's just going to make a quick assessment of the children who can listen and respond appropriately, then slip it back in her handbag. I know Harry may struggle to sit still, but we've made him a special, sparkly, sensible spot to sit on during the ceremony. And he's in charge of Barnaby Bear for the day. He asked me if he could come along on the honeymoon too, but I said that Neil would draw the line at Barnaby Bear and Harry coming along. Of course, Barnaby is really looking forward to having his photo taken on the Montano del Fuego in Lanzarote. Oh, and the children can't wait to see the photos of the volcano. So, my poor old LSA is in charge of folding up all the wedding gift wrapping paper neatly. She'll take it back to the classroom and put it in the collage box ready for the big wedding display we're going to make after the holidays. There should be lots of lovely boxes for junk modelling as well. Mum says she'll store them in her utility room till we get back from honeymoon. Neil and I had quite a row about the wedding last night. "You're marrying me, Sam, not the school," he said. "You don't understand what it's like being a teacher," I said. "You never switch off." "Well, that's ridiculous, Sam. It's a job, not your whole life," he said. Oh, I told him he was just being silly. I mean, he's obviously more important than my job. But he's probably just got a case of pre-wedding jitters. I know he's the one for me. I'd do anything for him. Oh, he'll be there. Well, he's got to be. Otherwise I'll have to redo all the follow-up work I've got planned for next term.
The monologue isn't really based on my own experience. I have worked with a lot of teachers that have got married, and I got married when I was a teacher. But the children do get so excited when you're getting married, and they always want to be part of it, and it sort of came from there, and I exaggerated it.
Or down, or was she looking down at the... I'm not actually sure she's looking at them, but it's quite...
I had written before, but not for a long time. I think it's important to have some time for yourself to be creative, but it is hard to find that time, and I think you have to take time for yourself to do that away from other things. So something like this is really nice because it sort of gives you the validation that spending that time on yourself is worthwhile.
Right, OK, can we set up rehearsal now, please?
I wasn't really sure what I was going to write, first of all. I had lots of different ideas, but then I thought about somebody that got married last year, and it sort of brought back all the ideas of everybody getting married. And after that, once that idea came, it wrote itself, really.
And action.
Seeing Tamsin Gregg playing the character has been brilliant. She's brought such a unique voice to it, and when I sort of knew she was going to play it and I reread the script, I could just hear her saying it in my head, and she's been fantastic. We were talking earlier and she was saying about her sister being a teacher, so I think she knows sort of the workload and the pressures and what's expected of teachers, so I think she's probably brought that to the part as well.
Your own train? Yeah, I'd love my own train. It'll stop right outside my door.
I think Tamsin has brought out the comedy because she's got such fantastic delivery, and the way she said it, it's so understated, but it's there, and I think she's really heightened what I was trying to get across.
Speak. Sorry, Mark.
11, take 2.
And action.
When I got married, the children learnt the poem Please Mrs Butler, because there's a poem for that, and stood up in assembly and said it. And they also made a big picture of me with a veil on, which they paraded around the school.
And then over there,
Yeah, and then there.
Yeah,
And then
It's like 11, take 1. I enjoy creative writing for myself. I think it gives me something to do outside of work and things like that. But also it does help with teaching literacy skills to the children, because you can teach them how to formulate a story that you need, you know, a beginning, a middle and an end. You need to have a hook there. So it has sort of helped me teach them, and I think maybe get more excited about teaching writing again.
Actually, I'm hoping none of the children say anything, muttering on about how I'm his Miss Brooks.
I think what I'll do when it's aired is I think we'll show it in the staff room maybe and get everybody together and sort of watch it together, have a little premiere would be quite nice.
Staff Room Monologues. Brought to you in association with the National Union of Teachers, the voice of the profession.